I'm sorry Gran Turismo, iRacing and Le Mans Ultimate fans, but this could be the sim racing game that you'll really want to be playing. This is our first look at Assetto Corsa Evo, and there's some huge features and some worrying issues that have just been revealed. Yes, Kunos have just released the first official look at Assetto Corsa Evo in the form of 28 very detailed different screenshots hosted on the game's Steam page. Yes, the game is now live on Steam. In this video, we're going to cover brand new car models, tracks, weather simulation, and more. I'm also going to let you know things that I've learnt about Assetto Corsa Evo that you may not have noticed by simply looking at these screenshots. First, let's take a look at the most interesting screenshots that Kunos have provided. Like I said, there are 28 in total, but I've picked out the most striking ones to show you here. From micro details such as metallic flakes in the coat of paint to immaculately modelled interiors. Now, for a game like Assetto Corsa, we know realism is super important, so we're looking at these under a very fine microscope. These ones here are the first screenshots that show the Alfa Romeo Giulia GT Am. It was revealed in 2020 as a celebration of 110 years of Alfa Romeo. This is a stunning car. It's also present in games such as Gran Turismo 7. And by the way, it doesn't also just look great, it's amazing to drive as well. Got a 2.9 litre V6 engine, 532 brake horsepower, well balanced, and a really fun car to send flying around the track at breakneck speed. This is definitely one of the cars I'm most looking forward to experiencing in Assetto Corsa Evo, and in fact driving Alfa Romeos is something I like to do in the original Assetto Corsa as well. Let's look at interiors now. These screenshots show off some of the most newly modelled interiors that will be featured in the game, such as the Alfa Romeo, which shows off a beautifully modelled steering wheel. We also have here the unmistakable gear stick of the Mercedes-Benz 190 Evo 2 and the Lamborghini Huracan STO and the 1991 Porsche 911. Let's be honest, these are some of the best looking interiors that I've ever seen in sim racing. It's a new era sim racing, and while some areas might not quite be the same as Gran Turismo 7, Gran Turismo 7 is a first party game from Sony, so pretty cool to see Assetto Corsa Evo coming out here with no mods looking like this, and we're going to get onto mods later. But one screenshot that really stood out to me was the close-up of this forged carbon fibre. The way the light plays across the surface, reflecting differently depending on the angle of the materials. It really shows how Kunos have poured here a lot of effort in developing the way they create textures for the different vehicles. Now, given the level of detail on show here, I can only imagine what we're going to get in mods, but again, is the modding scene going to be the same as Assetto Corsa? I've got some thoughts on there. Let's go on to car paint. This screenshot here shows the housing of a rear view mirror. What I want you to look at is the way the paint is simulated here and how they've created a metallic finish, and it actually looks metallic. It's the way the light interacts with the different layers of paint, such as the clear coat. It's incredibly realistic here. I'd say definitely at least on par with GT7, maybe even better. One question I have after looking at this paint simulation is if Assetto Corsa Evo is going to include ray tracing on PC, because that will take things to a ridiculous level. This could be one of the best looking PC games that we've had yet. But is it going to be a screenshot simulator, or is it going to be fun to drive? We'll see. But the final screenshots here I want you to take a look at before we go into the next part of the video are these close-ups of the curbs at various tracks. Subscribers of this channel, you will know that I've got a better thing for curbs. In fact, the Forza developers, they updated the curbs at the Nordschleife in Forza following my comparison video. That's high praise. And I'm very pleased to say that the curves shown here look not only to be very detailed in terms of the model, but also in terms of the wear and the tear, the tyre marks and the scrapes that are left after years of hard racing are present. Now, those are the screenshots I want to take you through a What's Top tour. What have we actually learned? These are things not just from the Steam reveal, not just things that the developers have told us, but some things that we can deduce, some of them by looking in close detail actually at those screenshots. So first thing is, Assetto Corsa Evo is going to feature a very diverse and up-to-date car lineup, up-to-date being important. Multiple different classes of motorsport will be featured in the newest entry, from road cars to hypercars that are some of the most fun cars to drive. This is similar to the original game that had a really diverse lineup. and the new and up-to-date versions of the fan favourite cars also seem to be here, such as the Porsche 911 992 GT3, which is really important. The age and diversity of the car lineup has been controversial in games such as Gran Turismo 7, where players are wishing for, a lot of the new cars to come through, including race cars, and that hasn't been the case. But Kunos seems to be committed here to bringing everything from the older road cars, sort of cherry-picked to be the best ones, to brand new track cars. I do have a warning here though, and my warning is that if you're coming into ACE as an Assetto Corsa Competizione fan, this is not going to be a hyper-focused GT3 simulator. And it might be the case that GT3 simulator fans, you want to stay on ACC. Let me know what you think about in the comments if you're worried about that. Another big thing here is a dynamic weather system. This is a feature that was really lacking outside of the mods in the original Assetto Corsa, stuff like Pure and Soul, those big mods. And that's dynamic weather. That's no longer be the case because the Steam page here actually confirms the inclusion of dynamic weather as well as screenshots showing various different wet weather conditions. This is going to be a really important addition to the simulator, as dynamic weather and most importantly rain have been a game changer in other simulators such as Gran Turismo, such as iRacing, where the varying levels of grip on the track can challenge even the most experienced drivers who are forced to change their lines and braking points in order to make it around track without crashing, just like we do in real life. Now, coming into another thing here, which is dynamic time of day. Now, doesn't appear to be any official confirmation from the developers regarding the presence of a dynamic time of day system in Assetto Corsa Evo. We can speculate that this long requested feature will be included in the game, going off this one screenshot of a tyre barrier during the night. It's possible, of course, that this is simply a static time of day with no evolution during the race, but given the relatively recent releases like Gran Turismo 7 and Forza Motorsport both have dynamic time of day as standard, I think it's pretty safe to assume that this feature will also be included in Assetto Corsa Evo. A dynamic time of day would be perfect, by the way, for a simulator that looks as good as this. And also the opportunity to do stuff like simulating 24-hour races, driving into the night, seeing the sun come up, is something that I've been very privileged to experience in real life racing, and I'm hoping it's going to be the same in Assetto Corsa Evo. Now, I'm going to get onto a controversial one here. I did say at the beginning of the video there's some things that worry me, and one thing is perhaps the focus on concept cars, because for the first time in Assetto Corsa they are going to include concept cars as part of the lineup. We spotted that because we saw in the screenshots the Hyundai Envision 74, which is a hydrogen power concept, and also the very unusual looking Alpine 1890 Beta, which is a 2023 concept car that eventually went into production as the Alpine 1890 electric hot hatch, I think. And this opens up the doors for a range of exciting future possibilities where, this is going to sound familiar, Kunos partner with car manufacturers to bring new concept cars to the game for players to discover, along the lines of Gran Turismo's Vision Gran Turismo lineup of concept cars. However, and I'm going to cover it, it's worth bearing in mind that I think most sim racing fans would probably prefer to have more real cars added to the game instead of concept cars. So Kunos, if they do go up down the road of including more concept cars, they will need to balance that between concepts and real cars. Now, another point here is virtual reality. You'll know on this channel I'm driving a lot in virtual reality, making a lot of virtual reality videos and triple screens as well. And according to the Steam page, Assetto Corsa is going to natively support VR and triple screen layouts. That should provide just an unbelievable sense of immersion. Now, I've used multiple VR headsets like the Pimax Crystal. I've got a Pimax Crystal Lite right here, PSVR 2 in games like AC and G7. I'm really excited that Assetto Corsa Evo is continuing in this direction. A properly implemented VR mode, it can make you really difficult to actually go back to racing in 2D. I really mean that. And a triple screen can be a great way to also immerse yourself, and is particularly beneficial if you're trying to do really competitive racing or if VR makes you ill. But this could be the ultimate VR game. It could look incredible as well. Now, I do want to do another worrying point, and this is about mod support. This is a completely unsponsored video telling you everything as I see it. And as of now, there has been no confirmation from Kunos that Assetto Corsa Evo will provide the same level of mod support on PC that is partly or maybe even mostly responsible for the ongoing Assetto Corsa's success here. Now, given that ACE is being developed on an in-house engine and it's not subject to the same licensing limitations that ACC is, it does seem likely that Modsport will return with a new entry. However, until it's confirmed, I just want you to sort of keep your expectations in check, as Kunos might decide to go in a different direction in this game and try and keep more of the revenue for themselves rather than going to mod makers who often are supported through Patreon. And that's money going from our pockets, not to the developers, but to the modders. Now, the new screenshots and information published by Kunos on Steam have not only shown us the clear progress that the studio has made when it comes to the lighting and textures used in their in-house engine, they've also given us some valuable insights into what the rapidly approaching simulator could look and play like. Additions such as dynamic weather and time of day would be transformative to the driving experience, and the addition of newer cars as well as exciting concepts will provide a wealth of new content for players new to sim racing and those already familiar with the genre alike. In the meantime, I would like to see Kunos release more screenshots and even gameplay of Assetto Corsa Evo. The release of these very tantalising new screenshots has done very little to satiate my curiosity, and if anything, it's only increased my desire to know more. Kunos say they will show us more soon, and you can be sure that when they do, I will be covering it here immediately on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. I just want to finish with a thought. Is Assetto Corsa Evo going to be an actual Gran Turismo killer? It really could be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you on more videos around here, and I'll see you next time.